Yeah, talent just isn't there.
They're
for
just
Wake Forest
generically
anymore.
garbage.
Wow.
They're not good.
Yeah,
I'm going to be brutally honest.
Let's wrap it here.
They're just not a good team.
Ooh. Yeah, well, Roy Williams won't
Do
take
you
that mindset
detect
in.
any lies?
I mean, the thing is that they just, this is the problem. They cannot take the mindset that we have on the podcast right now into that building tomorrow night. They've got to take
because you're not good enough to think like that.
Right. They've got to think that this is basically Duke on the other side of the court. You're going to have to come out ready to go. And if they play the way they played in that first half against Duke, this thing could be over at halftime. If you come out and play the way that we've seen you play at times earlier this season, you could be losing to this team at halftime.
Heck, you could be out of the game at halftime if you go over 17.
Yeah, I don't think that. But to be fair, I think Wake Forest, if Carolina goes 0 of 17, Wake Forest could maybe go 3 of 20. So it could be one of those games where just nobody's doing anything. But, yeah, I think, again, Carolina, more talented team. I've got them winning this game. I think that they're just, like I said, this is one of their best chances, if not their best chance. I believe their best chance to win a game the rest of the year. I know, of course, we played them in the Smith Center later in the year for senior night. That's probably your best chance against them. But this is still the team that you're going to have your best chance to beat. So I think Carolina gets it done and pulls out a victory to go to 11-13 and 4-9 in the ACC, something that just feels absolutely unreal to actually say out loud.
Yeah. I think, on the record, Wake Forest wins.
Right.
If Carolina can't win this game, pack it up, and I'll be in the Bosch a couple weeks. Well,
we probably are going to be in the Bosch in a couple of weeks, anyways.
So that's
for a game. So
that's where you're at this game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Get a chance to get a win before you host Virginia on later that week. So. With that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this train wreck of a podcast. Anthony did a pretty good job carrying us through midway there.
Oh my!
Need more focus, more attention to detail.
Oof.
This is what I learned in my film review of the last podcast.
This is going to be the one that people are going to listen to, right? And rate, review, subscribe the podcast off of. So yeah,
Hey, at this point, dude, I'm a desperate man. I'm desperate.
No.
I'm desperate to get some listens, some likes, some reviews, some subscribers. If this is how I got to be on here, blatantly calling people out, I will gladly go on there. This is what I went to broadcasting school, is to publicly criticize individuals about their lives. But thank you for coming on here. I know it's tough to talk about this team and what's just been a complete headache of a year. So thank you for coming on here. Talked about HeelToughBlog.com. A lot of great stuff on the site. All the stuff from the Duke games up there. Recap, analysis, podcast, all on the website. Carolina landed a massive football recruit earlier in the week. There's an article about that. So go check all that stuff out on HeelToughBlog.com. Talked about QC broadcasting. You've heard a little bit about that from us in the last couple of weeks. Our website is officially live. Go to QCBroadcasting.com. Got a bunch of podcasts. You got my podcast, Anthony's podcast, another Tar Heel podcast up there about NC State. We've got a podcast that covers Panthers and Hornets up there. We've got some big plans for QC Broadcasting that could be taking effect as soon as tomorrow, depending on how a potential client meeting goes. So you go to QCBroadcasting.com. Also, search the Facebook page, QC Broadcasting. Give us a like. And all the information about us will be available right there. Well, guys, also do want to encourage you to like and subscribe to the podcast where you find us. We're on on all your major podcasting platforms. So give us a like, give us a review. Most importantly, we want you to subscribe. That way you get every podcast in your podcast feed every time we upload a new episode. Well, that's going to do it for the 113th edition of the Roy's Boys podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening. And as always, go Tar Heels.